RHS offering free transportation for after-school tutoring.
New rules in place for Roseville High School's football games.
A new club joins RHS this year. All this and more on an all-new TigerCast News, October 30th, 2015.
From Eye of the Tiger, this is TigerCast News. Broadcasting from Studio 403 in Roseville High School.
Good morning, welcome to an all-new TigerCast News. I'm Preston Walter.
And I'm Corey Karstens.
The long-time tradition of students going onto the football field after games has come to an end. We now go to Grant Bear with the story.
Thanks, Preston. Students and fans used to be able to come onto the field after the football games, but now, however, administration has installed this fence right here to prevent anyone from coming onto the field after the games. Students here have mixed opinions.
I think there's no use for having the gate because only after one incident they thought of putting the gate up when before it was just fine and nothing even happened before. And I really think it's kind of over excessive having security guards and coaches standing in front of the gate.
Administration claims that the fence was installed to prevent any further damage to the track or field. However, this installation of this fence soon came after a verbal altercation between a parent and coach.
It's for the safety of the coaches and the athletes, so in my opinion, it's a good thing. Yeah, it's a bummer that I can't take pictures on the field anymore, but that's not really important.
They have taken even more extreme measures to make sure that people stay off the field.
I think they should take the gate down. I think it's kind of dumb, but at the same time it does have its uses and it does have a purpose for it. So
A lot of students and families are sad to see such a long-time tradition come to an end.
This year, the school district has been providing a bus home for kids who stay after school for Tiger Tutoring. For students that aren't able to get a ride home, the Tiger Tutoring has established a plan for providing those students with free transportation.
Some students ride the bus home every day or ride the bus to school every day, and if we don't provide a late bus, then we're not able to, those kids aren't able to attend after-school tutoring. So we want to remove all the excuses, we want to remove all of the objections to staying late and getting some help. So district-wide, when they helped us add after-school tutoring, they also helped us with buses to get those kids where they needed to go.
See Ms. Vaccaro in Admin 1 for more information on this program.
The AP Economics class is planning on creating Class T-shirts. Here's Alex Gonzalez with the story.
Mr. Fagan's AP Microeconomics class has decided to create a class shirts to bring them closer together as a community.
Okay, for AP Microeconomics, we're thinking for the actual AP test when we all go take it to be wearing the shirts that we all made out of class. A couple of days ago had like a competition to see what the best design would be, and we all voted on it.
Last year's AP US History class is to thank for the idea, meant to give hope to those taking the AP exam.
We kind of got inspired by Miss Fork because most of us had her last year for A-Push and AP laying the block for all year. And it was her idea to make shirts so we can all go in like unified as the test, like we're all kind of like a family and we can just be ready to ace it. And so I think it's more like a unity thing so we can all be together.
Mrs. Fork talks to us about being such a trendsetter.
Well, I got the idea for Class T-shirts from my stepmom, who used to teach AP literature at her school, and they used to do Class T-shirts, and I remember how much fun her kids had designing them, and so I thought that was something I could bring to this school, and actually I'm kind of glad to see that it's taking off and having that happen. Since I have my kids for the year-long block class, it was kind of a community building because of the way I ran it. I think with Mr. Fagan doing the AP Econ, since he has them for the entire semester, it's also a good community building for them. I had a great group of kids who helped design them, and it was all student-driven, and I think they turned out.
Any class could talk to their teachers if they too would like to create a class T-shirt for them and their classmates to come together.
We now go to Josh Carson with sports.
Welcome to this week's edition of TCSN. I'm Josh Carson. T5 returns this year with Paul Gonzalez, A History of Excellence. In this installment of the series, the legendary coach Paul Gonzalez returns to Roseville. Jason Russell previews this film during the upcoming trailer.
So when I first got here and got myself really involved in the basketball program, part of me getting involved with the school and throwing myself into the program was, learning the history of the program as well. And Coach Gonzalez was someone who, I learned was a major part of the history of the program on the boys and girls side.
The boys basketball program is happy to welcome back coaching legend Paul Gonzalez, who won 10 league championships and 5 section Division II titles when he previously coached at Roseville.
Basically, he didn't put SFL champions or anything else. He knew that he had to slowly build. So the first day of our junior year, he comes in, writes on the whiteboard, 16 and 14. And it worked. I mean, we NorCal champions, so.
But I think he was ahead of his time in a lot of areas of offense and defense, and I think that showed out on the court. Very passionate, very intense, and that carried over to the players as well. And I think that, me personally, that's carried over to me.
It is amazing what he can get out of a player. And every player on his squad is ready. Even later on, when you go and play in men's leagues or whatever and watching the game, he gave us a new appreciation for the game.
You can watch this film during next week's edition of TCSN on TigerCast. Now over to Austin Collins with entertainment.
Thanks, Josh. The Last Witch Hunter was released last Friday. The film stars Vin Diesel as a man cursed with immortality who spends his countless days hunting down witches and other supernatural foes who dare to threaten the welfare of the mortal world. I actually read that Vin Diesel's character in this film is based on his character in the fantasy role-playing game known as Dungeons & Dragons. Yeah, apparently the baritone badness that is Vin Diesel is also a huge nerd.
A witch hunter.
Elijah Wood plays the witch hunter's sidekick, although his character comes off as unnecessary and doesn't add much to the plot of the movie. At no point was I watching Vin Diesel cut some witch in half and think to myself, this movie really needs some Frodo. I have to say, this movie was a guilty pleasure, as I know it isn't a revolutionary motion picture, but it was so much fun to watch Vin Diesel go to work and kill a bunch of stuff. I would definitely recommend checking this movie out once it's out on Redbox, but don't expect to be blown away with any tear-jerking action or groundbreaking plot. This is why I'm giving The Last Witch Hunter 3 out of 5 stars. Dell released her second single, Hello, on Friday. Her last single was Skyfall back in 2012, so it's been a few years since Adele's powerful voice has graced our ears in the form of a single rather than a part of an album. The song took the world by storm and is expected to take the place of The Weeknd's The Hills in the Billboard Top 100 next week. Her strong voice conveys a story of regret and pain and is sure to win over the hearts of both veteran Adele fans and those unfamiliar with the English singer. We now go back to Corey for more news.
Thanks, Austin. 3 students have created an environmental club at Roseville High School.
A new club at RHS was formed this past year to raise awareness about the environment.
Okay, so the Green Team is the environmental club here at Roseville, and we want to help save our environment and go into nature and do all that we can to help Roseville High and the city of Roseville.
But they're not only trying to fix the environment alone, they also want help from students.
We just want kids to be more aware of what they can do at their house and what they can do here, and we would donate all of the recyclables to the lady that actually already picks them up.
The club also helps educate the members on different environmental issues across the world.
All members of the club are founders, and what we mainly want to do for the club members is to get them interested in fields around environmental science. So we want them to maybe find a potential career within our club, and we would help. We show videos in the clubs, and we show slideshows about different subjects like climate change, the drought, and stuff like that. So we could show them, and maybe they can find an interest in that particular subject, and maybe they can go into their own career and start that.
Anyone is welcome to join the Green Team Club. They meet on Mondays during lunch and Wednesdays after school in room 701.
Senior Zach Swisher will be participating in a public speaking event. The show is separate from Roseville High School and is a part of a fund called It Takes Guts.
The Reach for Greatness show is basically a chance for me and another student from San Juan High School to speak on a professional level with professional public speakers. I'm going to be doing a take on just an inspirational topic called guru. So basically it's where you take an analogy like the guru and then you put in your own personal experiences with it and I'm going to have 5 minutes to do that and try to inspire the crowd.
The event will be at the San Juan Performing Arts Center in Citrus Heights.
A senior at RHS has excelled in playing music. Senior Frankie Consulo has had a passion for drumming since he was a little kid.
Well, my dad gave me my first drum set when I was about 3 years old, and he would just sit down and I'd sit on his lap and he'd help me play, and I just fell in love with it after that. After high school, I plan on auditioning for Drum Corps, which is like the professional league of drumming, and I plan on pursuing that for a few years and then majoring in like music business in college and seeing where that takes me.
It's really cool to see someone musically inclined at our school.
The canned food drive is next week. Bring at least 10 cans starting on November 2nd. The class with the most cans donated will win a prize.
That's it for us today at TigerCast News.
And remember, we're always on at iTheTigerNews.com. See you next time.